William Ruto has promised to work with Kenyans after beating opposition leader Raila Odinga in this month's presidential election. The announcement of his victory was threatened by chaos that unfolded just moments before the Electoral Commission declared him the winner. Odinga's supporters are angry with the results, claiming foul play. Ruto winning the poll with a narrow margin, clinching just over 50% of the vote. Odinga just around 48%. So let's get you some analysis of the situation on the ground now. Journalist Zindzi Kibiku joins us from Nairobi this morning. Zindzi, it's great to talk to you again. And the last time we spoke, we talked about how interesting these elections were. What can you tell us about what the latest is on the ground in Kenya?
Okay, fantastic. And, we saw yesterday evening Wafula Chebukati, the IEBC commissioner, finally declaring the results, something that Kenyans on both sides have been holding their breath. And just to refresh our memories, Dr. William Ruto got 7.1 million votes. That's about 50.4%. And Raila Odinga coming in very close with 6.9 million percent. That's 6.9 million rather, standing at 48.85%. But like you've said, supporters of Azimio are not happy. Why? This is after what we saw transpiring yesterday between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. when Kenyans were glued on their screens waiting for the elections the presidential elections to be announced by the returning officer, Wafula Chebukati, who constitutionally is the one who's supposed to be announcing the president. We saw what happened. 4 out of the 7 IEBC commissioners have come out to say that they do not accept the presidential result. They will not throw their weight behind it. And thereafter, we saw shortly the Supreme Court, the judiciary rather, say anyone who needs to file a petition has to do so, Michelle, before the 22nd of August. Thereafter, if no petition has been filed, Dr. William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua, his deputy president, will be sworn in on the 30th of August, 14 days after the announcement. Michelle.
So it goes without saying, just given what you've said about 4 out of 7 of the commissioners not backing the election results, those petitions are coming.
Those petitions are indeed coming. Even before we saw the IEBC commissioners, the 4 IEBC commissioners coming out saying that they do not appreciate the results, the presidential results towards the end. We saw also the Azimio leaders themselves right before the IEBC commissioners spoke to the press. We saw the Azimio leaders saying that they do not agree with these presidential results. That towards the tail end of the presidential results, they do not agree with the IEBC. Then we saw the 4 IEBC commissioners come out. So what would then happen is that, like you're saying, Michelle, we could see Azimio leaders having to take this to the Supreme Court, having to file a petition, something that we saw back in 2013.
Zindzi, what can you tell us about these 4 IEBC commissioners, insofar as their track record is concerned and why they've come out in this way?
These 4 IEBC commissioners actually joined the commission as early as September 2021 last year. They just joined the commission as early as then. That's what we can say for now. There are speculations that these 4 IEBC commissioners could be representing the interests of Azimio leaders. Nevertheless, at the end of the day, they are IEBC commissioners. Their mandate is not to political leaders, but to the 53 million Kenyans, more so the 22 million registered Kenyans who partook in these elections that we saw. And this is not the first time we're seeing IEBC commissioners coming out and saying that we do not agree with the elections, the presidential elections. So as even we wait to see Raila Odinga, who hasn't spoken to the press yet, we are hoping that we will get to hear from him later on in the course of the day. Martha Karua has spoken to the press in the course of the week. She's even tweeted it, saying that it's not over until it's over, but we are yet to hear officially from Raila Odinga.
Because that would assuage the kind of protest action that we've seen in the wake of those election results, right? If Raila Odinga actually comes out and says he accepts it.
Definitely. And even we've seen a few of those protests coming out in different parts of country. It's also very important to note, Michelle, that some of the images that we're also seeing on social media and on our images and screens are not just protests, they're also celebrations as well. Right. But even one side is not happy with the results, definitely protests were bound to happen. And so far, peaceful protests are happening.
Right. So, Zindzi, what are you saying insofar as when the new president take the seat? I mean, could it still be weeks in the making, depending on these petitions before the end of the month?
Right. So if petitions are filed before the 22nd of August, and that's the date that judiciary has given. If petitions are filed before then, we will have to go for a runoff. We will have to do this again within 30 days, meaning Kenyans will have to head back to the polls to choose the president in 30 days. But let's also not forget, Michelle, that Kenyans were not just only going to choose their president. In certain 2 counties here in Kenya, Kakamega and Mombasa, did not choose for their governor in this August 9th election. Literally a day before that, on 8th of August, we saw the IEBC chairman, Wafula Chebukati, saying that Mombasa and Kakamega will not be choosing their governor on the 9th of August election, meaning they will still have to do so in their upcoming days. And if we do go for a runoff, I mean, IEBC, journalists, independent organizations, and observers will be busy for another 30 days by default. That's if we go for a runoff. That's if a petition is filed before August the 22nd. If not, according to the Constitution, Rigathi Gachagua and Dr. William Ruto would have to be sworn in by the 30th of August, Michelle.
All right. Still possibly a long way to go in the Kenya 2022 elections. Zindzi Kibiku, journalist in Nairobi, let me thank you for your time. An important distinction being made there by Zindzi. The images that we've been showing you on your screens of people in the streets of that country are not just protests against the election results, but also celebratory gatherings on the streets of Nairobi.